Hi everybody, let's make sure we've got these both up and running, our Instagram and Facebook. Hope you're having a great evening, and let's just take a moment to reflect on what a day it's been. And I do have the TV at the back, make sure that's on mute, which it is. I apologise that the back I do have it on is due to the fact that the Socceroos are playing, so my timing and my planning session for tonight's personal branding chat probably wasn't the best that it could be. So I do apologise that everyone's trying to catch up with the Socceroos, and I understand that they probably won't have too many people watching us live, and hopefully they will be able to catch up on this chat a little bit later on. So what a big week, what a big day it's been in Australia today, with marriage equality, with the yes vote coming through at 61%. So a huge morning for Australia there, to seeing that love wins out, which is absolutely tremendous and certainly has my tick of approval. Now let's hope the Pollies get their butts into gear and actually get that over the line, so we can really make this nation what it should be, and we shouldn't be wasting more money on having votes where, you know what, voting for people's freedom and people's right to choose. So that's on there. Australia's Socceroos are playing Honduras behind me, hence why the TV's there. So 0-0 half time, and it is still half time. So if it comes on and you phase out a little bit, I won't be bothered. And if they score, please yell out, let me know. I wanted to talk tonight about personal branding and avenues on how you can actually create a strong, powerful personal brand online. I've got it down to 5 factors that you need, and you need to do them better than anybody else to stand out, given all the noise that is available on social media, regardless of what platform you're across. All these 5 ingredients that I'm going to talk through are probably over the next 15-20 minutes. They all cross-correlate. So they're all going to have buckets that come into the other. So if you're not doing one, you're going to have another one fall over. So it's really important that all 5 are done, and done to the best of your ability. So my first one is, let's look at consistency. Now that sounds really easy, doesn't it? Doing something consistently well. But having a consistent brand on social media doesn't mean looking at posting once every few days. Otherwise, your newsfeed and your posts will get lost in other people's news articles and feeds that they go through. As I say, particularly on Twitter, posts only last around a couple of minutes if you're lucky. Facebook and LinkedIn, Instagram, they might last a few extra minutes. And then they're going to start getting lost in people's feeds, particularly if those people aren't checking their social media 3 or 4 times a day. And if you're only checking it once a day, you're going to be really lost out there. So have a look at your consistent basis. When I say consistent, you want to start looking at what that looks like across each platform. Now, Facebook and Instagram, probably more on a relaxed approach if you want to take that in comparison to LinkedIn at a more corporate feel. And LinkedIn, your followers will probably want to hear from you at least on a daily basis, sometimes twice a day, depending if you've got something. And that goes on to my value add piece, which is another part of these 5 ingredients that we're going to discuss. Facebook and Instagram that I was talking about, they're okay to have a bit more of a consistent approach, maybe a couple of times a day, 2-3 times a day, and adding some real, do you know what, this is me approach. This is outside of my corporate field. This might be what I'm doing today. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking about it? So consistency is so important, and it's not just about the time that you're going to post and the level that you're posting at, but it's always about your messaging across all your platforms as well. For example, I use 4 platforms consistently, so LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And your messaging needs to be similar across all. They're okay to share some other thoughts around different areas that might not be your speciality on Twitter. So Socceroos you might be tweeting about tonight, which I've put up a couple because I'm a passionate soccer follower. Or AFL follower, they'll follow Carlton. So they're okay to tweet outside of your corporate feel, but you wouldn't want to be posting those types of comments and articles on LinkedIn, as that is a more corporate professional outlook. Facebook, Instagram, maybe not so much, depending on if it's your business page or your personal page that you're looking at, depending on where your clients are following you. So it is important to keep, as much as you can, keep that messaging into the one bucket. If you start spreading it out into multiple buckets, and you'll start losing your followers, and your followers will start getting mixed messages from you and unsure where you're sitting at that stage. So keep the messaging clear, and keep your profile pic clear as well across different platforms. So as soon as somebody sees that it's a recommended follower, they might be following you on one platform, and if they see that on Instagram or Facebook and they're already following you on LinkedIn, they're going to go, oh, I already know that guy, I already follow him, love the post that he or she does, and you know, I'm going to connect with them on another platform just to see if there's anything different on what they're doing outside of the corporate world. So really keep that in mind as well. You need to do it with dedication and commitment. And commitment goes on to my second piece around investing time. And you go, well, Dino, you know what? Man, I work 10, 12, 14-hour days, particularly for those self-employed people. And listen, I get it. And if you're not going to outsource your social media, and then it's not one that I actually recommend on outsourcing it, but you've got to be doing it yourself, and you've got to be investing the time into doing that. So looking at doing an hour, 2 hours in the morning and an hour or 2 hours similar in the evening is great, and leaving that chunk of the business day to do your day-to-day role, that's going to be able to really let you stand out and plan your posts as well. So you're not just doing 10 minutes in the morning, posting one up and then forgetting about it, and then doing that at 6, 7 o'clock at night as well. One, because you're going to get real poor quality posts that you're going to be putting up, whether that's you're doing a text post, a picture post, you're sharing somebody's post and adding your own comments and thoughts across it, or you're doing a video post. And I'll tell you what, you're not going to be doing a video post in under a couple of minutes if you want to put some quality out there. So invest the time and really do what's best for your followers. So have a look across your platforms, because there's going to be certain times where Instagram might suit you better, or Facebook might suit you better where your followers are at. Like LinkedIn is a perfect example that during business hours is great, or even prior to the morning and late in the evening is great, because those more professional clientele or your more professional followers that are there have finished work, they've got some time to scroll through their news feed, and they're going to have more time to read it there than they would do between 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So the weekends are becoming more and more valuable as well on LinkedIn, because people are finding they've got that extra 15, 20 minutes to scroll through their feeds. Instagram, Facebook, have a trial with it. That seems to be playing well. The weekends, maybe not so much. On a Friday, Saturday, people are out socializing as well. So have a play with around your timings. It's not just investing half an hour, putting up a post, writing a blog article. Invest in doing some research and some analytics around your post and what that actually looks like. So that's going to get you some really good benefit and add to people seeing you and add to your personal brand and what you actually stand for. And don't forget, I remember prior to social media, and yes, I'm that old, so your reputation was your brand. It was that simple. If you weren't doing things well 7 days a week, and your competition was, people would be talking about the person that's doing things fantastically well and adding that wow factor. And if you're only doing it once or twice a week, guess what? That person's going to outshine you every single day of the week. And that's what was happening prior to social media becoming so valuable and so important in our lives. So think about it exactly the same. If people aren't seeing you on there, if you're not investing the time, if you're not adding value, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, and somebody else is, and they're a direct competitor in your own industry, guess who people are going to start looking at and who people are going to start following? And more importantly, who are they going to contact when they want to do some business? I guarantee it won't be you if you're not doing it consistently and you're not doing it well enough to add value. So let's go on to value add piece. Probably comes on top of all 5 ingredients, but we've talked about consistency, we've talked about investing time. So let's go into value add, and then we'll trip back a little bit. So value add, whether you're doing your blogs, your videos, whatever it may be, streaming live like I'm doing now and having a chat, make sure, have a think about it and go, do you know what? Before I do that, is somebody going to take something away from my post or my video. And if you're second guessing yourself, go with your gut and don't put it up. Go with your gut when it comes to social media, not with your heart, right? You're not going on a dating site here. You're building a personal brand that you want to be seen as powerful and strong in your industry, and you want to be seen as a real expert and a go-to person in there. And as much as I hate that word influencer, you want to be an influencer in your industry. And that's the last time I'll use that word, by the way. But value add. If you're not doing it, even if there's only a couple of people that can take something away from your post, then you know what? Tick that box and move on to the next one. You're never going to please all your followers because people have different mindsets, people have different knowledge bases. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But if you're not looking at it in a sense that, am I adding value? Then you might be looking at it from a selfish perspective. And you know, I'll put my hand up, and I've probably done some posts from a very selfish point of view just to build the brand where particularly nobody was going to add some value. And that's okay as long as it's not done every day. So if you've done something fantastic, or you've been rewarded in your role, or a client sent you sent you a box of chocolates for helping them out, that's okay to post because people want to know a little bit about what drives you, what successes you've had, if you've had some recommendations from your clients as well. So that is okay to do. Just be mindful that people don't want to see that every single day. People want to follow you because they're interested in what you've got to say. They're interested in what your thoughts are, in what your comments are. So give people a reason to follow you, and give people a reason to stay followed to you. You can so easily disconnect. And did Australia just score? We did, by the way. So I'm trying to talk and watch, which I'm not very good at, but how good's that? So adding value is so critical, and continuing it on. So let's talk about commitment. And commitment piece we've sort of discussed around the dedication, and the persistence is part of the commitment that I want to look at. If you're looking at persistence, don't think of social media as an overnight success. You're not going to be able to build a powerful brand within a month. Okay, it's taken me about 4.5, 5 years on LinkedIn to get a good follower base, and I'm hoping I'm adding value to those people that watch and follow my videos or my blog articles or my daily posts as well. Otherwise, I'm sure my follower base would be going backwards and not increasing at the level that it is. And I'm sure everybody follows that, and you have a look at your own followers and see where the numbers are sitting. And if you start seeing them go backwards, go back to that value add piece and see why people might be disconnecting with you. Okay, let's look about communication. So this is the fourth bucket and the fourth ingredient that you need to create a powerful brand. Social media, what is it? It's social, right? If you're not being you in the digital world as you would do in the real world, then you've got a huge issue to deal with. Now, people don't want to meet you after they've done some research on your brand or your business online, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be, and they go, oh, wow, this person looks like an expert, I've read the recommendations, how cool is it? And then they meet you and you're an absolute muppet. If that is the case, you need to have a look at your brand and how you actually portray yourself, and that might be simply by different posts, different summary profiles on there, or leaving different avenues around, you know what, I can do this. And videos are a great way to show who you are. So live videos like this, yeah, fantastic, great. Consistent videos around sharing your knowledge. And then if somebody reaches out and they want to do some business with you face to face, you're going out, you're meeting them, and that person's in the back of their minds going, I hope that person is like that in the real world as they are in the digital world, because I really want to connect with them, and I felt like I've connected with them online. Take celebrities as a perfect example. Let's take Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. He does fantastically well on social media and shares his real human approach, whether whichever platform he uses, and I've watched a couple of them, and you get that feel that, you know, he's really genuine, he's humble, he loves his fans, he wants more fans, he wants to be able to link their his comedy in his shows, whatever that may be, to his fans in the real life. And listen, I haven't met him, so I'm probably speaking a little bit out of turn, but the perception that I have of him is if I've met him, I'm thinking he's going to be exactly the same. So keep in mind, if you've met people that aren't, take something away from that interaction and learn from it. Because I've certainly met people, and this probably goes back a story a couple of months ago where I did meet somebody in Sydney, and they go, Dino, I followed you on LinkedIn, but you know what, I was looking at your articles and I was looking at your posts, and I wasn't feeling it. I didn't think, wasn't having that connection, but until I met you, I feel now where you're coming from, and I feel that genuine link to you. And that was really, it was probably a bit of an eye-opener for me, because I probably get caught up in my own bubble, and I'm sure people do on social media as well. You get so caught up in that little, the world is me. And you're thinking, well, geez, go ask people for some feedback. Ask a work colleague, ask a family, ask a friend, ask your teenage daughter. I tell you what, they give you some real honest feedback, trust me. But you need to be able to show that, you know what you see online, it's me. You want to do business, this is the way I operate. This is my service proposition, and this is what you're going to get. And it's not bullshit that you apply online, because your reputation, as they say, it takes years to build up a strong reputation or a powerful brand. You can destroy it in seconds. And I've said that a couple of times in videos, and it is so true. Excuse me for a sec, I'm getting really, really dry. So communication is vital. So the communication overflows with the invest in time piece. It's not just putting posts up and videos. It's about investing the time in being social and communicating with people. If somebody's commenting on your post, communicate back. Let your followers know that they've been heard. What's the point of following somebody if you're not going to communicate back? And I understand that some people are with large followers and might have hundreds of comments each day. But if you need some help, go out and seek some help. Don't let people wondering, or leave people wondering, I should say, around, God, I've commented or I've asked a question of this person and they're not coming back to me. How frustrating is that when you try and get somebody online and they're not responding to you, whether that be via an email or an instant message, whatever the case may be. So communicate in being social by responding, liking, and actually letting people know that you've been heard. And doing it in a timely manner, not letting people wander overnight, because I'll move on very, very quickly in social media, and I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. My last ingredient that overlaps all of these, besides the value add piece, which sort of brackets everything, is investing into it and being authentic. So investing time is great, communicating is fantastic, consistency, adding value, you need to be authentic. And I know I've touched base on that around being real you as the digital you. Ensure that you are. People know when people are online and they're being fake, or they've posted something that, you know what, geez, that's not them. Who's written that? Or who's looked at that article for them or shared that and written that? And if you outsource, you can get that very, very quickly. You get that sense of those people who outsource their stuff. There's no genuine approach to an outsourcing company when they're actually commenting back or when they're sharing a feed. And if you follow numerous people in your own industry, you'll see that either same post or same comment come up in your news feeds multiple times throughout the day. I certainly do in my industry. And you can tell that people aren't investing, people aren't being genuine, people aren't communicating to you directly. And people want you on social media. Why the hell are they following you if you're going to be outsourcing everything and keeping it at an automated response? So, guys, before I go tonight, so we can watch the end of the Socceroos, because we've got about half an hour left, so hopefully they're still leading 1-0, hopefully they can keep it that way. It has been a huge day in Australia. It's going to be even better if the Socceroos take it out. But consistency, take that away, write that down, value add consistency. Invest in time, communicate with your followers all the time, and that overflows to that consistency piece. Be authentic, be genuine, get rid of those excuses. Don't put up bullshit. People are going to see through it and disconnect with you really, really quickly. And make sure that those 4 things are coupled by adding value. Double think about it quickly. Am I adding value with this post? Or am I sharing somebody's business where somebody else can get some value from, and that's okay too. It's really good to highlight your business partners or your clients to other people where they may benefit from it as well. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into creating a really strong and powerful personal brand. Please feel free, if you want to ask any questions, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, message them over to me, and I'll definitely be communicating them out as part of my 5 top ingredients. Hopefully that helps. Have a fantastic, what are we today? Wednesday evening. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and look forward to coming next time to you live. Thanks guys, I'll just switch these off, bear with me.